Jenkins' story is a strange one, primarily because of how early he started his journey in crime and the motive that he claims for them. The convicted murderer claims that he took life of 4 people, 3 men and 1 woman, as a sacrifice to the Egyptian snake god, Apophis, or Apep. You would think that would earn him a long stay in a mental institution, but American prosecutors decided differently after having Jenkins pay a visit to the psychiatrist. However, the weirdest thing about this story is that a woman named Dawn Arguello claims to have found true love with the killer. Although most of these are public knowledge, there's so much more to the story of Nikko Jenkins that makes this video important. So push like and subscribe button and follow with us to the end. Nikko Jenkins was born on 16 September 1986 in Colorado, USA, to Laurie Jenkins and David A. Magee. The couple had 6 children together. At the time of Nikko's birth, Magee and Jenkins were not married. In fact, they were never married. Magee died in 2009, and at the time of his death, he had been convicted for several threats. Jenkins and his sisters grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, with a family known for committing crimes. In fact, 38 people from Jenkins' family are known to have been convicted of crimes, and this dates back to several generations. Nikko Jenkins comes from a troubled family that has spent generations committing crimes. The irony of things is that the Jenkins descended from the Levering family, who are known for their good reputation in Omaha, Nebraska. Laurie Jenkins. Laurie Jenkins is Nikko Jenkins' mother. The 51-year-old was found guilty of concealing evidence and providing false information about the purchase of ammunition. Even then, she was found not guilty of providing gasoline to her son and his uncle, Warren Levering, to get rid of the evidence. The court ruled that she did not know what the gasoline was to be used for. Nonetheless, she was sentenced to 5 to 6 years in jail. Before that, she was already serving 10 years for being a felon in possession of ammunition. Erica Jenkins. Erica Jenkins is Nikko Jenkins' sister and was also involved with him. She was one of the 2 women who lured Jenkins' first 2 victims. She also helped Jenkins in his crime. She was found guilty of Bradford's death and was sentenced to life in prison. And she is also serving a 10-year sentence for robberies associated with the killing. Shortly after being released from prison in 2013, Nikko Jenkins was involved in a series of spree killings within 10 days of regaining his freedom. On 11 August 2013, a police officer discovered 2 bodies in a white pickup truck near a swimming pool in Spring Lake Park, Omaha. The 2 men had been shot, and their pockets had been turned inside out. It appeared to be a robbery followed by murder. They were identified as Juan Uribe Peña and Jorge C. Cajiga Ruiz. The 2 men had been lured there by Jenkins' sister, Erica Jenkins, and his cousin, Christine Bordeaux. Later, on 19 August 2013, the body of Curtis Bradford was discovered, with 2 bullet wounds in his back. The day before, Jenkins and Bradford had posed for a Facebook picture. Jenkins' 4th and final victim, Andrea Krueger, was left life and her body left in the street. She had been going home from work, and her car was discovered 12 miles away from her body. Investigators said that an attempt had been made to set the car's interior ablaze. Jenkins' 4th and final victim, Andrea Krueger, was killed and her body left in the street. She had been going home from work, and her car was discovered 12 miles away from her body. On 30 August 2013, Jenkins was arrested for making threats to his then-wife, Shalonda Jenkins, who had reported him. By then, investigators had collected a host of evidence against him. Later, on 3 September, Jenkins confessed to the crime in a rambling 8-hour interview. He claimed that the murders were sacrifices to the Egyptian god, Apophis, or Apep, and that the hieroglyphic tattoos on his face are also homages to the same deity. Additionally, he had tried to carve 666 into his forehead, but he used a mirror so it came out backwards, reading as 999 instead. After his confession, he was charged with 4 counts of murder, to which Jenkins pleaded guilty. He insisted that he committed the crimes as commanded by Apophis and said in a handwritten letter that he would defend the god with animalistic savage brutality. In February 2014, Jenkins filed a lawsuit against the state of Nebraska, claiming that he should not have been released early, while stating that his claims of hearing voices from Apophis were ignored. He also complained about being placed in solitary confinement, saying that it worsened his schizophrenia, and demanded $24.5 million. During his trial, however, a judge ordered a psychiatric evaluation, and mental health professionals concluded that he suffers from an antisocial personality disorder and was faking psychotic symptoms to avoid taking responsibility. Jenkins spoke in tongues, howled, and laughed as prosecutors narrated the details of his victim's death during his trial. In May 2017, Jenkins was sentenced to death by a 3-judge jury and an additional 450 years in jail on weapons charges. On 20 April 2020, the Supreme Court refused his request to appeal the decision. Nikko Jenkins' marriage to Shalonda Jenkins. Jenkins has also been married once, although he never spent more than a month outside a prison environment with his ex-wife. He married Shalonda Jenkins on 6 February 2010 at the Tecumseh State Prison. There are no records of them having any children together, although Shalonda had a child with another man during their marriage. Psychiatrists have argued that Jenkins is faking his psychotic symptoms, while he claims that they are real. Either way, the consequences of his actions seem to have caught up with him, and there's no escaping this time.